very classy, so we pregame with champagne.
Cheers.
Yes. I like kava.
That's
This
nice.
is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so first we're just gonna talk about Dara and Tanner in the show. Their heads. Where were their heads when they first arrived? Like the opening scenes of the show.
I think like they haven't been beaten by life yet. It's all very new to them. So like this whole experience, they are unprepared, but they have like glossy visions of it. And
They're very like doe-eyed,
Yes.
like innocent,
New.
especially when it comes to like life in LA.
Yes.
They don't know what to expect, but they're filled with like a lot of hope.
Absolutely. I think that first scene really shows their expectations. They're not really thinking about the fine details of what it takes to become an actor in LA. They're just thinking success. That's why they're there. That's what they want. But what's going to happen when they get there? Nothing good.
Some good things.
That's true.
Eventually.
They're good people.
So how do you guys think Dara and Tanner are alike? How are they different? What pulls them together? What sets them apart, do you think?
Deep.
I think the dream is what initially brought us together in real life, and so that is definitely the biggest thing they have in common, other than like their, sense of imagination and their penchant for getting in wacky situations.
I think the thing that really ties together Tara and Tanner.
Always happens.
I don't think you've worked on the show until you said Tanner. Oh, I didn't write that time. I think one of the things that really ties Tanner and Dara together is their sense of humor. I think they have very similar senses of humor. They're able to make each other laugh and sort of one-up each other, and that's something that's true of both of us and something that really carries the show forward in a lot of ways because it is a comedy show. But I think they're also the same in that they're both not quite sure how to embrace themselves fully. They're so different, and when you're different in society, like beat you down, and they're both coming to LA thinking they're ready, but with a lot of baggage, a lot of insecurities, a lot
That
of
we
triggers.
don't really find out in episode 1.
Not at all.
That you really kind of get to know them more as people as the season progresses.
Yeah.
I think episode 1 just captures kind of like the whole naivete of the dream and the fantasy, and the next few episodes are really going to be like reality.
Right.
Absolutely. I think it's that first slap of reality, and they're thinking they can come up from it and still be in their dream world, and we'll see kind of how that impacts them as the season continues.
So a question I would like to posit is, what do we think Illusional is bringing to almost spilled to audiences that other shows or other types of media might not be?
Would you like to take it away?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the story of two best friends moving into a big city with a dream is something we've seen a lot before.
Right.
I think we've seen it a lot before because it is relatable.
Yeah.
And that's like a lot of our stories and our friends' stories. But I do think the humor and sort of the magic realism, especially in the pilot episode, does like set our show apart, and like the quirky humor, the characters that we haven't all met yet, I think really enrich the story and create like an atmosphere that I do think is different from whatever we're seeing on TV right now.
I agree. Yeah. I also think the sort of like the reason for the show's creation and or the message that it's kind of pushing forward about creating roles for types of people that we don't normally see as leads, or have problems with height, if that's obviously mine. I think that championing those characters and giving them these lead roles and learning who they are as people is really going to show viewers that these types of roles can be lead roles, and they can be interesting, and we can start hopefully shifting Hollywood in that sort of direction. I would love to see more non-binary actors being lead roles in their particular, and not want to say niche, but their particular, wherever they fall on the spectrum, that's the character that they can play, and that person can be a lawyer or whatever.
Right.
And tall women, it can be not an orc.
Or a mother.
Or, all these cast as mothers. Ugh, I'm not a mom. Here's what I'm wondering. What was it like, going from on the script to on set? What was it like filming versus reading the script?
So basically, Dara and Tanner showed me the script in fall 2019.
Yeah.
Right? pre-COVID. And I was really excited to read it. At that point, I was like, yeah, I'll just like offer feedback. I wasn't like attached to the show in any way. And yeah, we were just kind of working on story, and I was like, I think it's funny, I think it's creative, and I was excited about that in that way. But obviously, like after I, agreed to direct it, that's like a completely different mindset, right? And it's really about, like how to bring that like page onto the screen. And I mean, that's a lot of work, and it's a lot of meetings, it's a lot of discussions, and I think the biggest thing is really like with the creators, which are you guys, making sure we're on the same page and making sure we're seeing eye to eye with like how we want this manifested. Right. So I think that was kind of the biggest struggle, but also the biggest kind of like achievement, right, that we were able to do together.
Definitely.
I think it was so surprising for me to seeing how much, like, you are a phenomenal director and you know what you're doing. So we were like, here's the script, it's gonna be made. Like, no idea about what happens in between, and you were just on task. You like knew all these things, and you taught us so much about the production process that we would never have known otherwise. If it had been just us trying to find our way, woo, we would not be here. Not with champagne. But for me, that was the biggest thing. And then just sort of day of shooting, the things that weren't, that you can't have go according to plan, they just don't go according to plan. Our first day was so cold. We had to be up at 5 a.m. We had to be out on this little cliff, and it's supposed to be hot weather. We have numerous things in the script about how it's hot, and we were, my hands were in pain. I was so cold I couldn't feel my fingers.
Oh my god, I know. I was just like shattering between takes, and then like had a jacket on and some gloves, and I was like, I don't ever want to go.
Right, so if it looks like we're hot, we did a good job.
For me, I think it's like the difference between doing a puzzle and then like trying to build a skyscraper. Like, it's easy to change something in the script if it needs to be changed, if it doesn't sound right, whatever. But like the act of like setting up a shot with the camera, putting the actors in place, like making sure that all of that runs smoothly, and also like that you're able to adapt to changes. Like, remember the wine bag? Like, it wasn't working, so we had to improvise. And being able to do that, just like that whole process, I think really definitely learning experience. And
that's the thing, it's like once you're on set, there's so little you can control. We were shooting completely outside, there's no outlets, there's no chairs, there's no amenities basically. And like you barely have like enough water. So I think you really have to, everyone had to step up. And kind of be like, okay, we're literally in the middle of the woods, and we need to get this done before sundown.
The big question, guys, what can fans get excited about for the rest of the season?
I think just more wacky situations, for one. A lot of like self-discovery, a lot of weird dreams and hallucinations, a lot of weird situations, but fun and different, for sure.
I think the cast that we'll be bringing in, we're having an ensemble cast, a lot of really interesting characters who shape up Tanner and Dara's life and change and challenge them and make them feel super jealous and also really attracted and turned on.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Alright, we got some good secrets coming that way. I think also where they go in their careers, like learning about the acting process. When you have no idea what you're doing and how to break into this industry, you can follow oh my god, I almost did it. Tanner and Dara as they, get their feet wet, dip their toes in, and like slip and fall on a lily pad.
Maybe on a sharp rock once or twice.
I think kind of for me, what's most exciting about the episodes ahead is that you really see Dara and Tanner as friends in the pilot, but then you see them as actors, you see them as, significant others, you see them as love interests, you see them as friends to other people. And I think that is always like a really gratifying part of like character development, where you're like, okay, this person is in some ways the same with other people, they're different in other ways, and I really enjoy that in shows that I watch, and I think that's like a really interesting part of Illusional.
Agreed.
For sure.
Right, well, cheers.
Cheers, and good work to us for everything we've done until now, and now it's time to celebrate.
Let's go to the premiere.
We're gonna look so good at the premiere, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.